If you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe and become part of this community. Oh, and also, go cop that fresh merch and listen to my new album in the description. Let's talk about this new Pusha T album, It's Almost Dry, because this was one of the biggest, probably the biggest release we've had last Friday. Y'all know I was really excited for this. Y'all could tell by judging from how many videos I made on this and how positively I talked about this. We've gotten 3 singles for this thing already, so we could kind of go off of them to formulate our expectations. But obviously this dropped last Friday on April 22nd, so we gotta talk about this. So the album is out. It is 12 songs in length, 3 of which we've already known and 1 of which we've had a snippet for in the trailer that he posted with the record. It spans across 35 minutes, which is rather short, but obviously, you know, the album that dropped before this was Daytona from the Kanye run, and that album was only, I think, about 20 minutes and 7 songs, so it's kind of a step up from that, definitely. And Daytona was already amazing, so I only had like good expectations for this, and I gotta admit those expectations were definitely fulfilled. I believe that not a single song on here is like a skip. Of course I have my favorites, but all in all I can listen to all of the songs, and I'm really happy with how this album turned out. We start off with Brambleton, and this is, you know, where it already starts with one of the aspects that I kind of recognize throughout the record, which is that the production is definitely very minimal on here. Like, we don't have, like, except from like a few exceptions, we don't have like some grand production on here. It's usually some like a simple drum pattern. You know, 808 Keys produce most of these, and then Kanye just hops in and adds like vocal chop samples to almost every track on here, and that combination is amazing. I really love that. And then Pusha just comes on there and is like, you know, spits his thing. And I said this before, but I believe Pusha T, one of the best, you know, flows and cadences in hip hop, and one of the best hip hop voices as well. So him being on, you know, just him hopping on these beats that we already knew were going to be great is just like the icing on top of it. So I could honestly listen to this album just for the instrumentals, and on my first listen I was like, you know, maybe this is a little too understated, maybe a little too boring. I was hoping for like some more grand stuff, especially also with the Kanye production. But you know, listening to it more and more, the more you listen to it, it really grows on you. That understated minimal production with only the essentials in there is what really makes this thing stand out, and is what makes this, you know, more timeless rather than just, you know, being like a part of like the flow right now of hip hop. So Brambleton was already a great intro to this. Let the Smoker Shine the Coops, I think the vocals were mixed a little too muddy in there and just leveled a little bit too low, but all in all that track really goes hard, and I enjoy listening to that in the car definitely. Dreaming of the Past with Kanye, Kanye's vocal recording quality, I don't know how to feel about that, but I guess it's Kanye. But I like that quite a bit as well. I see that being played, you know, I think the most so far in terms of the songs that we haven't heard. And the beat on here, you know, the instrumental is crazy as well. Again, one of those really standout moments when it comes to the production on here. The next track, Neck and Wrist, we've already heard. I did not like that as much, but y'all know that. Kind of feel like, you know, he was trying to do something different with the flow, with the cadence at the end of every line, every bar, but it just didn't really work for me like that. Jay-Z did pretty well though, also like the Pharrell, you know, elements on here as well, but all in all, this wasn't like my favorite track, and I think a Jay-Z feature could have been so much better. Just So You Remember, we knew that this is Pusha's favorite, you know, song on here, and I like that quite a bit as well. I think the way that he comes in with Just So You Remember Who You're Dealing With, that is really menacing, and I really enjoy how that whole track feels. Diet Coke, classic as well already, you know, when this dropped in February, I think, and Kanye in the music video and all of that, so really happy with that one as well. Then probably my favorite track, Rock and Roll, Kanye and Cudi. Now this is one of the few exceptions where the production isn't as minimal, even though you can definitely tell apart the different elements on here. But Cudi on the hook with that distorted voice is crazy. You know, Kanye coming in at the end, Pusha just delivering bars on here. I think that this is my favorite track on here by far. It's sad to see that Cudi said that he's not good with Kanye anymore, and this will be the last track that he's recorded with Kanye, and that they are on it together. But I hope that at some point, at least we got this track. You feel me? That's all I gotta say. Call My Bluff is one of those tracks that I never really go back to a lot, but it's definitely not bad. It's just one of those tracks that didn't really have like a standout unique factor, but I do enjoy that quite a bit. Scrape It Off with Uzi and Don Toliver. I know a lot of people gonna gravitate towards that as well just because of the features, but personally I didn't like it as much. I thought it could have been a lot better as well. Felt more like a Uzi and Don Toliver track than really a Pusha T track, and I guess from the instrumental into flows on there, but I guess Pusha did well. Pusha did really good on here as well. Hear Me Clearly, I like that track quite a bit as well. Was initially on the I Know Nigo album, but also made it on here. Open Air, I think, has one of the best flows on here as well. Just one of the most consistent, and just Pusha coming through and doing his usual Pusha style flow, and I think on this track it works one of the best. And I Pray For You is the outro that we've already heard in the trailer for this album, and this is honestly I think my second favorite track. Just the vocals on there, and then Pusha coming through on the the verses, I think that works really well. And I really would have wanted Pusha to hop on more like grand and like big epic instrumentals, because I feel like that's where he performs the best, like on some Runaway type of stuff, on some good music, back in the day type of stuff. That's kind of where I wanted to see Pusha at, but I guess that this is the the best album in this version that we could have gotten, and we've gotten these really like standout moments where Pusha does come through on some of that, like on Rock and Roll and on I Pray For You, that just leaves me wanting more. And I guess that is the best case that could have set in, and I want more Pusha T now, and that is what the album did for me, because I feel like there's still so much untapped potential this dude has, and I hope that hanging around Kanye will bring a lot more out of him still in the future. But I guess this is the best album that we could have gotten right now when it comes to Pusha T. Timeless, when minimal instrumentals, just the essentials on there, and leaving for wanting for more now, leaving all the listeners wanting for more. That's the best we could have gotten, so I'm really happy with this. I think that It's Almost Dry is one of Pusha T's best solo works, up there with Daytona, especially also compared to some older stuff he did, and I think that it's only up from here for him. So this is my opinion, this is my review, my thoughts on It's Almost Dry. Pusha T, the new album, go listen to it, definitely worth it. One of the best hip-hop records we've gotten this year, by far, and I hope to see more from him in the future. Now I want to know what you think about this though. Were you excited for this? Were your expectations fulfilled? What's your favorite track? What's your least favorite track? And are you looking forward to more Pusha in the future? All of that, please let me know in the comments down below. If you watched this video to the end and liked it, and you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that like button, and go follow my social media, and most importantly, join my Discord in the description. Until the next one, you'll have an incredible day, and y'all take care.